What up, y'all? How are you? I'm good. I am, just kind of a husk right now. I have survived Mother's Day weekend at the restaurant. I worked a double today. I closed last night on Saturday. It was a wild night. And I ended up doing the Secret Teachings of Jesus video. And going to bed and getting around 4.5 hours or so of sleep. Getting up at 7 and going back to the restaurant this morning for brunch. We don't usually have brunch, but we did for Mother's Day. And we did for Easter. I did not have to work Easter brunch, but in Mother's Day brunch. And it was heinous. It was a madhouse. Ay. And as you can tell, I'm very wilted. I'm very smudged. Just beat all to hell. I'm pretty tired. And I had about 15 minutes of a break to actually just clock out and have a sit down pee before I had to be back on the clock for the dinner shift to begin. In which I was one of the last people. And then we had a couple of beers. And so, ooh, girl, we got revelations. Very exciting. Right out the gate. I'm feeling good. So we are here, you guys, for our Oracle energy forecast for the week using the Oracle of Oddities, editions 1, 2, and 3, as we do every Sunday night. If you are here for the first time, welcome. And so what we do on Sunday nights is we look at the energy forecast for the week ahead and see what kinds of influences and spiritual weather we'll be under. And so far, we're having big revelation this week. Epiphany, aha moments. Very, very fun. All right. What else do we have going on this week? Yeah, I had a couple of little sour beers, which was a nice way to wind down the night. Sat on a porch. It was humid. Ooh, death. Oh my gosh. And then what is this one down here? Oh my gosh. Okay. We have sacral chakra, death, revelation. This is major transformation on stored shame that we have been carrying, possibly related to sexual issues, or even, this is like our sexual organs in the sacral chakra. This is the creative forces. This is the forces of fertility, of bringing something to life. And gestating and having ideas and having astral dreams, projections, and insights and visions. It's all about the imagination and creativity. But this is also where our center of desire is, in a way. Our lusts, our needs, our carnal needs, our wants. And so we can be in a healthy balance with that, or we can be in a sense of guilt and shame. And so that's where we're going to hold it. And a lot of that was picked up in early childhood programming or programming through the family or what have you. But this is something that we're really going to be looking at and having a lot of revelations about this week. And it's going to lead to major things that we can overcome. Patterns that we can leave in the past, wounds that may be finally healed, but things that are definitely like cycles that are really coming to a close that we're done with. They're like, oh my gosh, like I see now. And it's crazy because just observing does so much to help progress the insight and epiphany and revelation, but not just that, but about the actual experience of your life and your sense of peace and serenity and just being in a state of fulfillment in life, and not guilty or ashamed or feeling undeserving. This would have everything to do with your sense of deservingness and self-worth. And so, so much is tied here. I keep getting mother wound has so much to do with guilt and shame. It's like, how guilty do you feel when the mother is displeased? It's like the ultimate sense of, will I be abandoned? Will I be rejected by the person who's supposed to accept me unconditionally if mother's upset? So think about all of the even minor things that could have happened through your life if you were in an emotionally vulnerable state that could have left an impression on your subconscious that you don't even realize. And so just having an awareness of it can give you so much power over that, because when you're present and you're conscious of things, then you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was my pattern. That was a default setting. And so when you're triggered and you can see that default setting presenting itself, you can be like, wait, hold on. Not going to result to default. I'm going to choose with my consciousness and my free will how I want to act, react, proact. Now, having had a revelation, an epiphany, how I want to be going forward. So yes, that is, a transformation and leaving the past behind, and the end, a major ending of old cycles, which totally lines up with all the themes that have been going on recently anyway. And then let's do 2 more cards. Sometimes when I get a chakra card, I like to get one more, I like to have 4 subject cards. Ooh, release. Okay, oh my gosh, and separation. So yeah, there is so much of all of this baggage from the past, this programming, these fears, these wounds, these tendencies and habits and compulsions and patterns, for no better way to put it, that we've been carrying for so long that we're ready to let go of. We're, being led into this new journey, into this new chapter. And so it's like we want to split off that old side of ourselves that was just this, it's like this conjoined twin, this sense of like thing that's always working against us, right? Where we can't just be whole in ourselves. We're always split, So I feel like this release of separation, like there might be things that you're separating yourself from in life because of this now. You're like, okay, I don't feel this way anymore, and I don't think this way, and I don't want to do this, or I do want to do this, or what have you. But mostly I think what this is about is that I can see that this is separating yourself from the parts of you and the patterns and the shadows that have been holding you back to move forward unencumbered, right? Like when there's a conjoined twin, this is like a healthy thing for them if they can separate, right? But in a way, this conjoined twin is inseparable. They share one heart, same set of legs, right? Same set of arms. They're of split mind. And so part of this separation is showing you, okay, all the parts of you that have kept you separate from your fulfillment, yeah, it's those parts of you that haven't been in alignment with your heart, but that the seed level of the consciousness and the mind has been splitting you in 2 different directions, whether that be, I don't know whether I'm in or out. I don't know whether I want this or that. I want this, but I'm also afraid. There's so many interconflicting beliefs and interconflicting desires that could serve to keep you in a stalemate with yourself, right? To keep you in an ego battle indefinitely. So we're separating ourselves from that ego influence, right? We're releasing that, and we're surrendering finally with confidence our ego agenda and that small self-will, like, oh, I want this, I need this, this is gonna appease and give me validation. We're letting all that go, and we're surrendering it to the will of the higher self that knows the direction that's going to lead to the ultimate fulfillment, and which we're being led in. But the sacrifice is that sometimes we have to separate from our ego, which means sometimes we have to go in a direction that might seem illogical, or it may not make sense, but it does lead us ultimately to the path of our greatest unfolding. And so that's often the path that we're in the most resistance to, because the ego is so convincing, and its ultimate job is to trick us into always being distracted from that path, right? So amazing, you guys. We have revelation about how all of these things are connecting, right? We're having these epiphanies, and we're really dying to all of these old patterns. And it's like we're really being like, we're so ready to release all of the guilt, shame, old patterns, wounds from the past, worrying about our mistakes. It's like, you know what? They all served us, and we were all, you know, working together for a common cause, right? But once the assignment is complete, it's like we've got to separate ourselves from the stories that we're caught up in around it, and just take the lessons, take the wisdom, take the experience, and embody that so that you can go forward in a new level. You know, let the past be gone, the old consciousness, old ways of thinking or assuming, you know, limiting beliefs that were passed down from your family, you know, for maybe generations and generations. We're letting that die. We're having these epiphanies and revelations, letting them go, and we're separating ourselves from all of that is not an authentic alignment with what's really in our heart, in our heart of hearts, and where our soul is really leading us now. And the soul is leading us to separate from that ego mind that keeps us in a stalemate, right? That's always working against us, that keeps us that salmon continuously swimming upstream, right? It gets so tiring. So it's like a sweet release. It's a sweet surrender, and it's so satisfying and relaxing and restful and peaceful to just be in a state of trust. Trust that you will be led and guided and protected if you let go of fighting with the darker, smaller side of yourself and stop letting that side win. Just let that side kick and scream, throw a fit. You continue to do your good work, and accept the fact that that side of you is going to continue to throw the fit in the middle of the store. Just let it. Just continue to do your shopping and check out. And leave that side of you buy the frozen foods until that side of you finally decides that it's being nonsensical and decides to come join you. All right, you guys, love our cards for this week. Very interesting, but I think that it looks scary, you know? Revelation, ooh, what is it going to be? Release, oh my God, what are they asking of us? Separation, death, the sacral chakra. But like, ironically enough, like impending doom, it doesn't sound like impending doom. It sounds like really good things. So yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to. I think last week was also a very positive week of priming the pump, so to speak. If you haven't watched last week's message, I think it's still really applicable to now. So yeah, you guys, I think we have a good week ahead overall. I think it's like finally things are dawning on us, and we're like, oh my gosh. And we're finally able to like be like, okay, yay or nay, in or out, clarity. All right, y'all. Be good, but not too good. Ciao.